I got a few comments for the senators from Nevada that I find, quite frankly, rather troubling. I've been peppered in my YouTube videoing myself over the last few weeks with an ad campaign lauding Senators Catherine Cortez-Masto and Senator Jackie Rosen for their work to bring renewable energy jobs to Nevada. And one of the things, because I accidentally watched it past the skip ad part, it said is that it brings jobs that don't require a college degree to Nevada. And I have a problem with this for two reasons. Number one, I work in higher education. And what you're basically saying to higher education is, your kind need not apply. We don't like you. We don't want you. We're not going to do anything to help expand higher education. And I have a vested interest in higher education because it's what I do for a living. And I'm pretty sure if I look up their bios, I'll find out they have a college education. So they're saying, don't be like us, be below us. It's a very elitist thing. The second thing is for many years, I have contended that Nevada is a state that neither recognizes nor rewards scholastic achievement. This is a state where much of the economy revolves around manual labor and unskilled labor. And while that's not necessarily a bad thing, it is a thing that makes Nevada unappealing in many ways to the rest of civilization. Forget the sagebrush slot machines and brothels. This is a state where people make a crap ton of money. In fact, I have a cousin who makes more than I do in academia, valeting cars. So if you can make more money dealing blackjack, valeting cars, driving a bulldozer at a gold mine, or installing solar panels, why bother getting an education? The problem with the premise of these jobs is all of these jobs are temporary, and some of the people leave Nevada. If the mines dry up, they won't stay here. As new mining opportunities open up, they may jump ship and leave Nevada. As the casinos suffer, what do those people do? They have no other options. Education may not be the be-all and end-all to make your life better. As I tell my students, education gives you options because you can do things once you have one that people who don't have one cannot. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't go back and do whatever you want after you get a college degree. It doesn't mean you have to use it. A lot of people believe that. It's not necessarily the best option. In fact, sometimes I wonder if it was the one I should have made. But I'm here and I'm now vested, so I'm going to make it work. And I say that because there's a religious leader at church who told me a couple of Saturdays ago that he wasted 4 years at UNLV. That's the Nevada State School here in Las Vegas, the state university here. And because he now owns a landscaping company and does manual labor and does very well, I'm sure. I could look up his house and I'll bet you it's palatial. So getting a college degree doesn't mean you'll be successful or rich, but it does mean that if there's no more yards to trim, no more mining to do, and no more rooms to clean, no more blackjack games to deal, no more cars to park, you might be able to do something else with your life. So I view this ad from Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez-Masto as a big middle finger to higher education and to individuals who want to increase their intelligence and educational level. They're basically patting themselves on the back for creating jobs that don't require a college degree. Most of the most successful jobs in the world require a college degree in STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And Nevada is really bad at doing whatever it can to drive these opportunities away. The only reason that Tesla built a factory here is because the lithium is here. He didn't build it here because Nevada had this great educational system and was churning out a bunch of people who could come and work for him. He built it for logistics because the raw materials are here. That's a good business decision. And the people who work there are probably not from Nevada. So good job, senators. You're doing a fantastic frickin' job by not creating those jobs too. Because those jobs are hard to create. You've got to build the infrastructure. You got to bring in the programs. You got to make contacts with the businesses. You got to bring those businesses in. And everyone knows that Democrats hate big business, unless, of course, it's a business that gives them money. So those businesses are probably not giving them donations. They don't want to come to Nevada. And these two senators are doing everything they can to bring low-skilled, low educational laborers to Nevada, people who are not going to elevate our school system, who are not going to inspire our youth, and who are going to take what they say and run with it. Because an uneducated populace, and I mean uneducated populace, can be a really bad thing for a community or a civilization. Now, just because you're educated doesn't mean you're intelligent, but if you're not educated, then you have fewer options as a people. So what Jackie Rosen and Catherine Cortez-Masto are bragging about is that they're creating jobs for people who can't or don't want to do anything better with their lives. They're creating a stratified system here in Nevada where we have the political level and then the intelligent educated level. And then we have this gigantic core of rich people who are rich because of industry and because of the number of hours they have worked rather than because of the contribution that they have made. This is not to dig on individuals for a particular reason, but what kind of a legacy does it leave if you parked cars for 30 years? I have students who come in here, not for valeting cars, but who are blackjack dealers who come here who are trying to get a college education. And I remind them that they're going to take a pay cut. And more than a few of them have told me, yes, but I'll feel better about what I do for a living. This is not to say that installing solar panels is an evil thing or that whatever jobs they're created are not jobs that we need. What I'm saying is they're not jobs that give you a sense of life satisfaction and fulfillment. And satisfaction of soul is just as important as financial satisfaction and being able to pay your bills. Because there are a lot of miserable people here in Nevada who are stuck in these jobs because they have no other options about what they do. Then there's also all the cocktail waitresses and barmaids and such who are going back to college in their 30s because they can't compete with younger, prettier women. And so these senators really need to get a clue. And in addition to those things they're doing, which I think is just a big self-licking ice cream cone to say, look what a good people we are, we're awesome senators, is to create some opportunities to bring jobs here, to bring a reason to Nevada to get an education. Now, they probably don't want that because they want to have some sort of hegemony over the people who live here, but it would be in the benefit of Nevada in its future if we bring jobs and companies here because we have an educated and intelligent core of employees from which they can draw. I know the Air Force wants that because there's this gigantic base here. Is it over there? Yeah. And they want to be able to hire Nevadans to come and work at the base, to come and work at the test site, to come and work at the dam, because then they can hire from a pool that's immediate and local. Why aren't these senators doing anything about that? Because that would require them to actually do some work. Because I'll bet if you look into the things that they're touting, they put their names on it and had almost nothing to do with it beyond that whatsoever. I'll bet all they did is they signed on a bill that someone else wrote, or they promised financial incentives for those companies to move here. And they didn't do any other work because it's easy to take credit. It's hard to earn it. And that's your report card for this week. I give both of these senators a D because I'm glad the jobs are here, but they're not the kind of jobs that Nevada needs to elevate itself and prepare it for the future. If you've listened to them, if you get one of these, remember, keep your options open. Education is never a bad thing. Don't let anyone take away your opportunity to go and get one if that's what you want. Godspeed, good luck, and may God have mercy on these senators' souls.